Bet on Bears fans, another edition of the Chicago Bears podcast coming your way. Pat the Designer back at it again. Unfortunately, we got breaking news on this quick edition. Here's the Chicago Bears have placed Kyler Gordon and Braxton Jones on IR. We got to break down what this means for the team moving forward. A couple of names that are out for Sunday as well, and a couple names that they have elevated. All that and more today's episode of the Chicago Bears podcast. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's get it started here. I mean, there's nothing much more to say. Kyler Gordon, unfortunately, the big name here that goes down. You hate to see Braxton Jones going to IR because you lose a little bit of that depth. Also, the possibility of him being a trade piece at the deadline here. But right now, where this Bears team is at, Kyler Gordon going down is a big blow because you saw what this team could be dominance-wise when it came to being able to attack the quarterback in different ways with Kyler, how him and Brisker paired up so perfectly together, truly felt like a great situation for you to be in if you could have kept both of those guys healthy. Now, with Kyler being placed on IR, he's set to miss at least the next 4 weeks. And remember, he was out at the end of the week with a groin/calf issue. So don't know if that's going to be a surgery thing. We'll figure all of that out probably after the game, or probably some point middle of the week next week on where he's going to be designation wise moving forward. But I think here's the tough part, right? And there's a little bit of balance. There's a little bit of give and take. You got to talk about what has happened with in the past. I think J-Mac said it on this podcast before, right? When you ended up going from Dick Duran to Lovie Smith, there were a ton of soft tissue injuries. There were a ton of guys banged up. There were a ton of guys, right? Olin Kreutz, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, who dealt with these same soft tissue injuries. And the reason behind it being that they were it was being asked of them. How they were going about their job was in a much more difficult way. They were doing things that they hadn't been asked of before. I think we've seen a ton of that here with this coaching staff and this new coaching staff asking more of the defense and of the offensive side of the ball than they had been asked to do in previous years. And so when things change, when you start to have use new muscles and different things like that, you end up tweaking things at times. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing happen here. The problem, though, with Kyler Gordon, I would say that that's the conversation that you have to have on the entire injury list. The problem here with Kyler Gordon is Kyler Gordon has a past of being banged up and having a few IR stints a year. And you just paid him to be one of the highest paid slot corners in football. But when you see the injury history, you have to start to ask yourself, is this because of him being banged up and dealing with something this time? Remember, previous times he had the hand fracture where he was on IR. He missed 4 games there. He had the concussion issues where he missed 3 games his rookie year. To this point, he's missed 4 games already. He's going to miss 4 more now with this new designation here. And you would assume that you start to ask yourself the question, okay, is he an injury-prone player, or is this just because of what we've dealt with the change in the coaching staff? To me, I think it's okay to start to ask the question. I think because of the injuries that we've seen, listen, a broken hand is not, a continuously pulled muscle. You're not going to break a hand every time you go out there and play. Concussion issues, he had it the first year he was in the NFL. I don't know if you can say that leads to him being an injury-prone player. The hamstring this year is incredibly concerning. Now that being a groin issue and a calf issue. So I can't say that this season the injuries haven't piled up on him a ton, but I don't know if we're at injury-prone just yet, because those first 2 injuries are kind of, one is just, I mean, both of them are just, the effects of football. You stick your hand in there, try and punch a football out, you catch a helmet, you break your hand. You know what I mean? Like you get a helmet-to-helmet shot, you get a concussion, you get put on concussion protocol. So for me, I hope that this is not an injury-prone issue with Kyler Gordon. I think that he's a phenomenal player. I think that you've seen, Dennis Allen loves all of the ways that he can utilize this young man in his defense. And now moving forward, you're not going to have that. And you're already incredibly, incredibly thin at that DB position right now. When you look at the DBs that this team has, I mean, you're rolling out with Nick McLeod and Deshaun Wright as your starting DBs. Now, you do get and a little bit of an update here as well. You do get Lamar Jackson out, which I ain't gonna lie to you. Can we talk about something for a minute? So he was a full participant in practice, listed as a full participant in practice because he was put on the injury, or because he ran the scout team fully that day. So that made him a full participant in practice. But then the Ravens went back and changed it to limited. We getting a little NFL Chauncey Billups situation here. Like, what the heck was that? That cannot be legal. Anyway, I digress on all of that. Now that Lamar Jackson not playing, I mean, this definitely evens things out more. Kyler already wasn't going to be playing, but it just continues to even out kind of where this defense is at, just banged up at that DB position. And the biggest thing that can help this team right now is what we saw at the end of last week. A ton more pressure from the defensive line. You saw the sack numbers start to move into the right direction. Dominique Robinson getting involved. Montez Sweat creating a ton of pressure on Spencer Rattler throughout the game, right? Like, those are the things that are going to make losing DBs like Kyler Gordon, losing DBs like Tyreek Stevenson a little bit easier for you to stomach. And the reason being because, once that pressure is created, if this is Snoop Huntley who ends up playing here today or on Sunday, then you kind of look at that situation and go, okay, well, we've got so much of an opportunity here to intercept the football, to knock the football away, especially with Zay Flowers on the field, because we're creating that pressure that is happening up front for the quarterback. So I think the biggest thing for the Bears that they need to address moving forward, I know some people, when I went live on the Breeze, they were talking about, okay, do we trade for a guy? Do we go out and try and add an extra piece at the DB room? I think if anything, you try to focus on getting this defensive line as strong as possible. I guess if there's a DB out there that you want a future pair up with Jalen Johnson, then yeah, you can kind of have that conversation. But I don't think you go out and you give up massive draft capital for anybody who's available right now. I don't think that you go out and listen. I've said a ton. I do not want the Bears to go out and waste any more draft capital on a guy that you're going to regret paying, because we already got contracts that we kind of look at and we go, I don't know about that one. I don't know if that's going to pan out. I don't know how that's going to play out. I think you have still a ton that you need to address. You need to address positions on this defensive line. You just do. I get it. Shamar Turner, we're hoping that he's going to turn into something, but we haven't seen that as of yet. That development is still happening. Montez Sweat, while I love the pressure he's putting on the quarterback, you're not seeing those sack numbers really rack up as of yet. So I think the defensive line needs to be your biggest focus if you're going into this draft moving forward here. And that's more important to me than going out and adding another cornerback. That's more important to me than going out and adding, heck, another running back. Like at the positions you have, like the defensive line, the trenches need to remain your top priority like it was this offseason. I don't think any of that changes for me heading into next offseason. But hey, I do want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Do you feel like the Chicago Bears are in a tough situation here with Kyler Gordon being banged up now? Do you feel like this Bears team is going to deal with some serious struggles here moving forward with this latest news? And hopefully, we see a team that's able to go out there and get the job done on Sunday versus the Baltimore Ravens. But like I said, let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down to talk with you guys as well. As always, it's your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out of Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.